We see so many middle-class income earners making $150,000 a year when they haven't diversified their income. That's called a crisis waiting to occur. You need to diversify your income. That's the first step in wealth creation. And I know that, so we went out and diversified our income and built this business. And they laughed and criticised us, which was a good thing, which meant that I was working above the thinking level of the crowd, the herd. And I'd expect to be laughed at if you're above the herd. And today, in Victoria and Echuca, we're now in the grips of the mother of all droughts. Worst drought we've ever had. Far worse than 1984. You know what all my friends are doing that laughed at me? They're doing what all the other dairy farmers are doing. See what dairy farmer sees, what dairy farmer does. They've become subject to their reason. What seems right to them is what the other farmers are doing. They're panicking because they have no water. But they laughed at me when I diversified 13 years ago. They should have diversified with me. They thought that was the worst drought that was ever going to happen. That's ridiculous. Right? You need to diversify your income. You need to look for people who've got enough common sense to diversify. It doesn't matter how much you make. That's irrelevant. It can be competition, it can be health, right? It can be a boss's bad decision, it could be technology. Anything can drive you out of that comfortable environment that you're in. So do not bow to reason. Be careful who you mix with, because it'll seem right. Who you're mixing with, it'll seem right what they're doing. It'll seem right to you that you should do what they're doing. George Bernard Shaw wrote, "The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man or woman." Right. If you've got good self-esteem, girls, I don't have to add woman, do I? I mean mankind. Okay, all progress, therefore, depends on the unreasonable man. Isn't that exciting? Do people think you're a bit of a loony being in this business? They laughed at me, and I read that and I thought, yeah, I'm on the right side of the track. Right? Don't worry about what the herd thinks. In that last drought, I suffered severe cash flow shortage. I just want to give you an example of not bowing to reason. So I wish I was smart enough to figure this out, but I wasn't. Got really desperate because I was out of money, so I got on my knees and I prayed. It's usually the last thing we do. And so I decided after that I should sell all my hay. Now, no one in his right mind is going to sell his hay at that point it was the worst drought in history we'd ever had. And I won't go into all the details of it, but you'd have to be a lunatic to sell your hay in a drought, wouldn't you? Anyway, so I figured out, yes, well, that's not reasonable, so I better do it. And I sold my hay, and I sold it to a guy. It's interesting, the guy that I sold it to, because Destiny has a sense of humour. This guy, we'd done a few things around the district he shouldn't have done, and he wanted to buy my hay. And so we signed a contract of sale, and he gave me the cheque, and I put the cheque in the bank. He never ever got a chance to take the hay out of the shed. The rain come down, and it poured and poured and poured, poor guy. Here he was, I could still see him in the rain, loading the hay on his truck. It was now worthless, because the drought had broken. Now that is not bowing to reason, isn't it? Sometimes you need to back yourself and be a bit unreasonable. And so reason is limited by our finiteness, what we know, and we don't know everything. So reason's not going to get you everywhere, is it? Don't just get locked in. If you ever go to battle against someone who is very logical, they're very easy to beat, because you know how they're thinking. All right? I teach my boys. They're very small. We're all small. I'm the biggest there is in both sides of our family. And so it's not a good idea for us to get in a fight. And I teach them the one weapon that you have above all other weapons. It's called surprise. Right? That's the best weapon you have in a battle. The weapon of surprise. It's not reasonable. Surprise is usually unreasonable, isn't it? That's how wars are won. Our great army commanders, Rommel and MacArthur and all those guys, they used surprise. They were unreasonable in their tactics. The soap business is a bit unreasonable, isn't it? And my friends sure thought it was. So dare to stretch yourself beyond your boundaries, those safe boundaries that you have. I challenge you to stretch yourself. It's a bit scary, but you'll become a bigger and better person. Right? Stretch yourself beyond the inhibitions of your reason and become and accomplish something quite unreasonable. Can I challenge you? Can I challenge you to be absolutely unreasonable? I challenge you to go into diamond qualification next year. Would that be unreasonable? Does that sound like a bit of a lunatic thing to tell you? Now challenge you. That's unreasonable. Go out and do it. Because every one of you here, every single person listening to me has the ability to do that. You've got the skill and the ability to do it. You've been given that. It's whether you've got the will. It comes down to will. Will you or won't you? That comes down to your dream. So be unreasonable. Learn to discipline your words. I hear people say things like, I can't, or it's too hard. Poor sook. We'll never make it. We'll never make it. You're being a prophet. You're predicting your future if you say these sort of things. It's impossible. And I'll tell you now, you don't get what you want. You get what you say. Start saying the things that you want. And keep speaking them out while the herd laughs at you. Because the herd only looks in the present. The herd judges what they see. Someone that has dreams speaks out what they can't see. It's an act of faith. Believe in your dreams. See, from your heart, what's in your heart will flow out your mouth. When I hear people say, I can't, it's too hard, I'll never make it, it's impossible, etc., etc., I know what's in their heart. Put someone under some stress, that means set some goals, and get under some pressure and some tension, and what's in your heart will come out. You can control it and put on an act while everything's going okay, but set some goals and get under stress, and out comes what's in your heart. What's in your heart? Do you need brainwashing or heart washing? We need books and tapes, don't we? We need to associate with other winners to change our hearts. So discipline your words or lose your dreams. Forfeit your destiny if you don't discipline your words. Death and life, life and death are in the power of your tongue. I'll just give you a practical example of this one too. My dad's a really positive fellow, and my mum looks after my dad, does a great job of looking after my dad. My dad's at 60 years of age. He was probably as fit as any fit 50-year-old. Very fit fella he was. He used to work very hard. My mum was concerned about that, and she used to say, Jack, if you don't stop working so hard, you'll have a heart attack. And she said that I heard her say that for 5 years. That was at 60 years of age. You know what happened when you were 65? Had a heart attack. The power of spoken word. Are you around people that are speaking things in your life that don't belong? People say things to me that they shouldn't say, and I have a little thing inside. I just say, block. That doesn't belong, and I reject it. It doesn't get into my heart. I block it. And some days you go around saying, block, 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 block to yourself. You need to get out of that environment so you're not saying that all the time. You know, my dad recovered from his heart attack because he's got a great attitude. And he was really concerned that because he was so active that he didn't want to be debilitated anymore with a heart attack or anything like that. And from 65 onwards, my dad said, he used to say, recovered from a heart attack, real easy that was, just hope I don't have a stroke. He said that for 5 years. You know what happened after when he hit 70? Had a stroke. You know, he spoke it out. He didn't realise what he was saying. So what are you saying to yourself? What are you saying about your future? Going diamond is in the power of your tongue. You've got to speak it before you become it. It's an act of faith. Now I want to tell you that my dad's now 75 years of age. He barrows sand around, digs trenches, fits pipes up. He's carrying on like the regular. Well, he's not acting like a 75-year-old. I told him the other day he wants to learn to act his age. He's acting like a 65-year-old. But I got him on all the vitamins. He's got a great attitude. He's on the vitamins. He reckoned to me the other day he reckons he'll live to be 100. It's a great attitude, isn't it? And he's speaking that out now. Isn't that a good thing to speak out? Reckon I'll live to be 100. And it's a good way to be. So just understand what's in your heart, what you speak out, right? The power that's in your tongue. You can go diamond. You know that? You can go diamond. You believe that? I believe that. That's why I'm here talking to you. It's just a matter of getting you to believe and to realise that, and to follow some basic principles that will cause you to achieve your potential, fulfil your potential. So negative words is the saying, loose lips sink ships. Right? Loose lips sink diamond ships. Negative words, cynicism, gossip, abuse and criticism will never build you a successful life. You want to stop any of that stuff. You speak it, you lose. You cannot separate the words of your mouth and what dwells in your heart. Right? If you're speaking out cynicism, gossip, abuse, criticism and negative words, you need a new heart. You need a new heart. Uncontrolled lifestyle will also destroy your dreams. Some people, for the sake of a temporary distraction or pleasure, will destroy their relationships and forfeit their potential or their destiny. Success principles alone aren't enough. You've got to live them out. They've got to be lived out in your private life. Your right to leadership will be determined by your private life. If you're in a mess at home, you can't lead a big business, because what's in your heart's going to come out under pressure. So uncontrolled lifestyle will destroy your dreams. Lack of vision is another thing that will destroy your dreams. Helen Keller was born deaf and blind and was a tremendous inspiration to many people. She overcame her limitations in life and led a life of significance. And she was asked if she could think of anything worse than being blind. She replied, yes, having eyes and yet not being able to see. And so many people walk around with eyes and they cannot see. Learn to have vision to see what other people can't see. Look out there where other people can't see. Very shortly, nearly every household in Australia will shop from home. We're it, guys. We're the guys who are going to deliver that change in history. Right? And we're going to accept the rewards that come with that. The end should always be better than the beginning if you live your life with vision. Even losers start well, but only winners finish well. When you set out to fulfill a promotion or to follow a plan of success, when you set a goal, just because you start in that direction doesn't make you a winner. It's how you finish. Right? Winners always finish well. Be an excellent finisher. I look at people when they tell me what they're going to do and I watch them. I have a drawer at home and I keep what people say. I write down what they say. You don't want to talk to me later. I write it down, I put it in my drawer, and every now and again I pull it out and I look at it and see if they're doing what they say. See, your actions have got to match your words. Does your diary match your dreams? Right? Winners are great, excellent finishers. Right? Don't have to be a great starter, just got to be a great finisher. Finish well, learn to finish well. Write down the things that you say yourself and keep check of yourself. So, learn to live a controlled life, can be in control, be self-controlled. Don't never try to control anyone else. Only thing you should try and control is yourself. So be disciplined with your actions and your thinking, your feelings. Be patient. Learn to have the strength of gentleness. Be unreasonable as you move forward to accomplish things that the common man wouldn't dare to hope for. But you learn to finish the race. Right? You've started a race. You're here in this business right now. You've begun the race. I just say to you today, finish the race. Go out and finish the race. I challenge you to finish the race. Don't be a great starter. Be an excellent finisher. Have a life plan. Have a business plan and a life plan. Focus on those two plans and fulfill them. Right? Live a life of significance. Every human being wants to live a life of significance, to touch up other people's lives and make a difference, don't they? Everyone wants to live a life of significance. I challenge you to go out and excel with this business. Right? Discipline yourself and excel and make a difference to other people. Right? And help other people then live a life of significance also. It's the greatest gift that you can give others. Well, we love you, we believe in you, we know you can go diamond. God bless you, and we'll see you later.